A very pleasant good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful Grand Strand of South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and the Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium, where this afternoon 80-plus of America's finest collegiate football players are going to show out one more time for the professional scouts and the fans in attendance here at the Myrtle Beach High School Stadium, where 3 of the last 4 state champions have played, and several of America's finest high school and college players have played here on this AstroTurf, or more specifically field turf surface at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium. And today we're going to see the North versus the South. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alan Smothers, joined in the booth today by the color analyst for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer football broadcast, Lane Harris. And Lane, some familiar flavor in this game for you over the last 9 years.
Yes, having been fortunate enough to call all the Coastal Carolina football games for the past 9 years on radio with Matt Hogue, the voice of the Chanticleers, I'm proud here to be here today with David Bennett coaching what may be his last game in Horry County. We won't go into that. That's another story altogether. But David's had a great week here with all these kids out here on the field. He's brought his staff over from Coastal Carolina to coach the South squad. And I've had an opportunity to come out here, spend some time at practice, and get a chance to know some of these young men. Some great storylines out there, and we'll go through those over the course of the game today. But this game, the first annual game, was played up in New York State last year. A little bit cold, and one of the things that David Bennett, when he talked to the director of this tournament, said, you know, I'm gonna send you a couple of guys, but you need to think about bringing this game down to Myrtle Beach, where it's nice and warm in December. And I think we've responded with a nice weather forecast for us today.
We certainly have beautiful sunshine and 65 degrees. It's shorts and T-shirt weather here along the coast of South Carolina. The South team is dressed in the red jerseys this afternoon, and the North team in the white jerseys. And we'll tell you about the head coaches. Tom Masella, formerly of Fordham University, coaching the North team, and David Bennett, formerly of Coastal Carolina University, coaching the South team. There is an ironic symmetry between these two coaches, and we'll tell you what it is when we come back with our pregame show, counting you down to kickoff of the 2nd annual FCS Senior Scout Bowl from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, on HTC Cable and HTCNetRacer.net.
The Retreat at Garden City is a seaside community located between Surfside Beach and Murrells Inlet in South Carolina, just steps from the Atlantic Ocean. This 16 custom home development featuring a tropical landscape community pool is situated just 1 row back from the beach, right across the street from the famous Garden City Pier. The Retreat at Garden City is convenient to everything: the beach, fishing, plenty of water sports, golf, shopping, and so much more. All the fun and excitement of South Carolina's Grand Strand is right here at your fingertips. Yet, you're still able to enjoy privacy and peace and quiet. Residents of Garden City enjoy views of the oceanfront and low-country wildlife habitations. Can you imagine laid-back island living and classic coastal architecture for an unbelievable affordable price, starting at just $299,000? It's the chance of a lifetime. The Retreat at Garden City offers 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath and 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath floor plans. Both include a 4-car parking bay. Standard features include kitchen appliances, carpet, 9-foot smooth finish ceilings, and more. Laminate hardwood, granite countertops, and stainless steel appliances are just a few of the additional options. The Retreat at Garden City, your home on the coast. Visit theretreat@gardencity.com for more information. That's theretreat@gardencity.com.
The holidays are a magical time of year when our days become even busier with holiday parties, get-togethers, and of course, shopping. HTC is happy to help you through the hectic holiday season by connecting you with family and friends, helping with online shopping and reviews, and settling in with you for a good movie during the most wonderful time of the year. HTC will connect you to everything on your wish list.
Smartphone data and home high-speed internet as low as $28.95 a month.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and the 2nd annual FCS Senior Scout Bowl put on by a football nut, self-professed football nut. George St. Lawrence and his son Peter co-founded this game last year in upstate New York, and with the help of Coastal Carolina head football coach David Bennett, announced 2 months ago that the game would move to sunny South Carolina and give a chance for these collegiate football players one more opportunity to show their talents to the professional football scouts, both here in America and around the world.
Yeah, and there's a lot of FCS players currently making some serious cash up in the NFL right now, and there are a lot of young men out in this field right now that are hoping to catch some scout's eye and be able to take their game to the next level. And kind of going back to what you talked about with David Bennett's involvement in this game, he sent Zach McDowell up, their senior quarterback from last year, who led them to the playoffs last year, and then Dominic Davenport both went up there. Well, Zach McDowell, all he did was lead the game-winning touchdown drive, threw a touchdown pass to another Big South Conference performer, Gerald Stevenson, and for the touchdown in that game to win that game. I think it was 13-12, and Dominic Davenport had a great game defensively, had an interception as well. So that's the least he could do is bring the game back down here to us this year.
No question about it. The players are being introduced to a very nice crowd here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium. And before we introduce you to the players, let's introduce you to this afternoon's officials. An honor for them to be officiating this game. The referee is Dwayne Height. Your umpire is Mike Webster. The linesman is Troy Gray. Rick Page is your line judge. Angie Bardis is the side judge. Michael Crowley, the field judge, and your back judge is Pat Ryan. They are doing an outstanding job. Had a chance to speak to them before the game down on the field today, and these guys are as honored as the players to be participating in this game.
Great story right here. I got to talk about this. Number 86, Markel Willis, a grad assistant this year at Coastal Carolina University, played receiver for 4 years for David Bennett. Because of their lack of bodies in the offensive side of the ball, Markel said, "Coach, I'll play." And Coach said, "Get your number on. You're going to wear number 86, the same number he wore at Coastal Carolina." Great story there.
And he's going to start at wideout for the South squad today. We also
probably help with the play translation as well.
He'll be able to give the terminology
exactly
to the fellow teammates from David Bennett's staff, which is helping David Bennett coach this team. The Fordham staff is coaching the North team. The Coastal Carolina staff, or shall I say former staff, is coaching the South team. And I said in the open, there is an ironic symmetry between these head coaches. Tom Masella from Fordham University and David Bennett from Coastal Carolina University. And you stepped lightly around it at the open of the program today, but I've already spoken with the coaches today, and they are perfectly fine with me saying that both have been recently relieved of their coaching duties at their respective universities. Tom Masella's had a few weeks to digest his firing at Fordham, and David Bennett was just released a week ago yesterday from his head coaching job at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, and the wounds are still a little deep here along the Grand Strand.
I would say so.
For me personally, as well as a lot of folks, because David Bennett is the kind of coach that immersed himself in this community, and this community in turn embraced him and his family, the first family of Coastal Carolina football. His wife Melanie, his daughter Hayes, who's up at Clemson, his cheerleader, and Jeb, his son, who's I think is a junior at Conway High School. They love this area, and this area loves them. Shocked at the decision. Understand some of the decisions.
Sure, absolutely.
I have to kind of sit on the fence.
Yeah,
on this,
you've got to play both sides
because I enjoy my employment by Coastal Carolina University. I want to continue doing that. But Dave Bennett is a quality individual, and he's won 62% of his games as a Coastal Carolina coach. Overall in his career, he spent 6 years at Catawba before he came to Coastal Carolina. His overall winning percentage is 70%. So he's done a great job. And when he came here, one of the things that he talked about with this program was he scheduled this program lightly back in the 03 season. We have time to go into this?
Sure. Yeah, we've got 15 minutes.
Yes, we're going to do it
kickoff.
Then. And he brought in a class of freshmen in 2002 when he came here with his staff. Did not play a game. Brought in another freshman class. Well, over the course of the next 4 years, in that first year, 2003, Coastal Carolina University started 18 freshmen and took its lumps. It went to a 6-5 record. It played kind of a light schedule, but that scheduling started to pick up as this team got better. And this team went 9-2. No, excuse me, 6-5, 10-1, 9-2, 9-3, and went to the playoffs in its fourth year. And in that fourth year, a class that was highlighted by quarterback Tyler Thigpen, who was a Peyton Award finalist in 2006. They went to the NFC playoffs, the FCS playoffs, the first team in Big South Conference history to get an automatic bid. Only the second team in the history of FCS football to get an automatic bid, at-large bid, I should say. At-large bid to the playoffs. And they lost to eventual national champion Appalachian State up in Boone, North Carolina. And it's actually scored 28 points on Boone, which was more than anybody scored on that whole year. So, but the thing about that happened with his program, and Dave will be the first to admit it, is he didn't take enough transfers. He didn't take enough JUCOs. He didn't, variate the amount of seniors that will be leaving this program. And in 2006, he had 33 seniors leave this program. Right. And he really basically, the 07, 08, 09 seasons, he literally had to rebuild this program. And in 2010, he went back to the playoffs again.
Yeah, well, Tom Masella has asked David Bennett in our conversations before the game, would you have done anything differently? Because David Bennett is the founding father of Coastal Carolina football. He's the only coach that they've ever known. Right. And in his 9th season, they had a 7-4 record this year. But had he gone 8-3 and not lost the homecoming game to Gardner-Webb, would he be back? We don't know that. But I do know this. In spending time with both Tom Masella and David Bennett this week, and I've known David since he came to Coastal Carolina 10.5 years ago, that the two head coaches on this field this afternoon, and their staffs included, their demeanor and their integrity are without question. These young men have bonded with the coaching staffs, and Tom Masella, just the short time I've spent with him, is a fabulous person. He is a great man, as we've known David Bennett is for some time. They are raising young men in this game. David Bennett right there, he talks all the time about being, raising these men to be great fathers, great husbands, and great people first and foremost. So that's what Tom Masella is all about as well. And let me say that these young men are fabulous, and the coaches that are coaching them this afternoon are quality individuals, and I'm glad to know them. We need to get to a timeout here. We'll come back, and when we return, we'll have the kickoff of the FCS Senior Scout Bowl from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
The holidays are a magical time of year when our days become even busier with holiday parties, get-togethers, and of course, shopping. HTC is happy to help you through the hectic holiday season by connecting you with family and friends, helping with online shopping and reviews, and settling in with you for a good movie during the most wonderful time of the year. HTC will connect you to everything on your wish list.
Smartphone data and home high-speed internet as low as $28.95 a month.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
The Retreat at Garden City is a seaside community located between Surfside Beach and Murrells Inlet in South Carolina, just steps from the Atlantic Ocean. This 16 custom home development featuring a tropical landscape community pool is situated just one row back from the beach, right across the street from the famous Garden City Pier. The Retreat at Garden City is convenient to everything: the beach, fishing, plenty of water sports, golf, shopping, and so much more. All the fun and excitement of South Carolina's Grand Strand is right here at your fingertips. Yet, you're still able to enjoy privacy and peace and quiet. Residents of Garden City enjoy views of the oceanfront and low-country wildlife habitations. Can you imagine laid-back island living and classic coastal architecture for an unbelievable affordable price, starting at just $299,000? It's the chance of a lifetime. The Retreat at Garden City offers 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath and 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath floor plans. Both include a 4-car parking bay. Standard features include kitchen appliances, carpet, 9-foot smooth finish ceilings, and more. Laminate hardwood, granite countertops, and stainless steel appliances are just a few of the additional options. The Retreat at Garden City, your home on the coast. Visit theretreat@gardencity.com for more information. That's theretreat@gardencity.com.
Yeah, I was there last
night. Welcome back to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're just about set for kickoff of this afternoon's FCS Senior Scout Bowl, the second annual Senior Scout Bowl. They have signed the contract to return this game here next year, and maybe the Division II and Division III All-Star games will be played as a doubleheader here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium next year. The captains for the North and the South are meeting, and we mentioned earlier, Lane, that you have a lot of experience calling games for 4 of the young men that are playing in the game this afternoon. 4 Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, including Jamie Childress, as well as offensive lineman Tim Franklin and Brian Brooks, and wide receiver Markel Willis. There was a 5th player named to the game, but by way of injury, he's not going to be able to participate this afternoon.
Marcus Lott in the 7th game of the season injured his wrist pretty badly and had to get a pin put in that list, or we would have seen 5 Coastal Carolina Chanticleers out here. Marcus Lott finished off a great senior season, all academic, all American. So that's one of the things that makes David Bennett really proud. And this kid actually, you know, although he's not going to play in this game, may have an opportunity to play on Sunday. Marcus Lott has the skills to go to the next level, as does Jamie Childers. You're going to see number 83 in probably 3 different positions. He may play a little quarterback. He's going to play tight end. He also play slot receiver. He may even play some free safety in this defensive front for the South team. But you look at Brooks and Franklin, those 2 guys that are offensive tackles for Coach David Bennett's offense, and offensive line coach Patrick Covington, who's not here today, unfortunately. But these guys were bookend tackles, and between the 2 of them, they started over 70 games in their college career at Coastal Carolina University. And one of the things that Brooks is going to do, Brooks is going to have to move to left tackle. So that'll be a position. It's a little different from him. And he and Franklin were sitting beside each other at the banquet last night, and Franklin said, well, all you got to do is just change your hand. Just go everything to the other side. Come on, you big dummy.
Well,
so it'll be interesting to see the 2 tackles out there, Franklin and Brooks. But look for a lot of action today towards Childers and Markel Willis, and let's don't forget Tommy Shaver, that big tight end from Liberty. That's going to be a great matchup to watch how the North secondary matches up with 2 huge athletic tight ends in this South offense.
I was going to mention that we have an affinity for Coastal Carolina University because we've seen all of their games over the 9 years that they have participated in the FCS, but there are some great other players this afternoon. Offensive lineman Jeremy Hill, 6'9", 340-pound tackle from Campbell University.
He said 6'9", folks.
6'9".
He's huge.
Tommy Shaver, of course, the tight end from Liberty, and one I'm looking forward to seeing this afternoon, running back that's going to start for the South, Tesso Uha from Furman University. And the South won the opening toss, elected to defer their decision to the second half, so they will be kicking off to begin today's game.
Dangerous return man. Coastal Carolina fans know about him. Brock Jakolski, one of the top return men in college football, back deep, all along with Anthony Coleman from Robert Morris.
Anthony Coleman is on the left and Jakolski on the right, but it's a short kick. It's going to be brought down by Coleman out at the 21 to the 25, and he's hit hard right away out of the chute for the South team.
It's one of those kids from Old Dominion right there.
Chad King. And Chad King, Old Dominion's head coach, has been here all week long, and I'm telling you, he's gained quite a bit of respect from the other coaches and NFL scouts that have been here as well, because Old Dominion took the number one team in the country at the time, Georgia Southern, to the wire in the second round of the FCS playoffs.
And also that coach has been down here recruiting because he picked up a kid from Lake City right underneath David Bennett's nose, and David Bennett ain't going to let him forget about that.
That's right, Eddie McClam, a Lake City native, and we'll see him on the defensive line for the South team. And with the football first, the North is going to go with Dante Warren under center. Hands off to Jakolski. And you saw him running in a little bit different weather than we're experiencing here this afternoon last time.
We can say 180 from what we was. Coastal played him up in Stony Brook in a 30-degree horizontal rainstorm the whole day. And believe me, we saw a lot of that right there. It was a lot of power running game as they just lined it up and ran over some. All the Beach Boys went up there, and it was a tough day up on Long Island. Jakolski had a big day along with Miguel Masonette, his running back.
Your fullback is Ryan Denabel. He's the fullback actually on the first play from center, but out of the shotgun this time, Dante Warren fires one out into the left flat, and it's received, caught by the North team's Patrick Walker out of Northern Colorado University.
Yeah, Myron Johnson from Arkansas Tech with the nice defensive play there. This is a kid that plays on both sides of the ball for Arkansas Tech. And Myron Johnson, a 6'2", 200-pounder with 4.4 speed. head coached by Steve Mullen out there in Arkansas.
Split ends are Anthony Coleman and Kevin Fitzpatrick for the North. The tight ends, Kevin Doty and Ryan Zarnich, will see a lot of action. You've got 2 receivers split wide to the right and 1 to the short side left. Out of the shotgun, it's Warren. He's going to take off with it, pick up the first down and more. He's across the midfield stripe to the 45, the 40. He's turned the corner and finally pushed out of bounds by Mike Parker from Charleston Southern University, another Big South Conference opponent here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium this afternoon, but a big run by the quarterback, Dante Warren.
Yeah, they got a great pressure on him up front by the defensive lineman, but somebody lost contain and allowed him to step right up in the middle, and then once he got into the secondary, showed some nice speed and some nice elusiveness to get out to the corner.
Besides Jakalski, we'll see Rashad Slowery. He will line up at a tailback position. Now we've got the fullback, Ryan Denabel. Behind him, Brock Jakalski. We'll look at the front 5 in a moment for this North All-Star squad. Play action pass, single coverage down the left sideline. What a great catch. Touchdown for the North. What a play. Matt Brevy from Stony Brook. Another of these Sea Wolves showing out here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium.
And we're going to have to find out who was victimized. Number 9 on it. We don't have him on our roster. For the
that's the kid from PC.
Team. Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Damon Lawrence. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. James Bostic from Newberry.
Yeah. And Bostic never got his head turned around, and Brevy's one of the top receivers in the Big South Conference, and he hooked it up nicely that time with the quarterback and did a great job of kind of jumping over the top of the defensive back and hauling in the touchdown pass.
Patrick Jacob will line up for the extra point. What a great touchdown throw and catch from Warren to the Stony Brook Seawolf, Matt Brevy. The kick is up and right down the pipe. So it's 7-0. Just a minute and 53 seconds gone into this football game. The North team jumps on top at the 13:07 mark to play in the first quarter. It's the North 7, South nothing.
Well, that's what you want to see in these types of ball games. You want to see some good offensive explosions and a nice long touchdown pass. I think it was about 31 yards from Warren to Brevy, so we're getting off to a good start here under some good conditions here. I'm sure the defenses will kind of get the feel of things, and you've also your defenses are a little bit handicapped in today's game. Alan, you can only put 4 defensive linemen down. Those defensive linemen cannot stunt or angle or pinch or whatever you want to call it. They have to kind of just go straight ahead and attack. The linebackers cannot blitz. Now, if you bring in a double tight end set, let's say on like a third and short or fourth and short, they're allowed to bring a fifth defensive lineman up on the line. But the defenses are kind of hamstringed in this type of a ball game to hopefully allow for a little more offensive production. And again, last year's game only being 13-12, we're almost halfway home to that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see some more of that today with the weather a lot better than they had last year. They had 35-degree weather in Middletown, New York last year for this game. So where's south.
Where's our pretty sideline reporter? They had one of those last year. Why didn't we get one?
Well, couldn't find anybody quite as pretty as you, Lane.
Oh, hush up.
At 13:07 to play, and besides the defensive rule changes, we're going to see quite a bit more passing this afternoon, and a nice long high kick forces the return man all the way back to the 7-yard line, but a big return for the South squad out across the 25 to the 27. And folks tuning in online especially, and those at HTC Cable Channel 4, we will struggle with some names early on in this broadcast because we just got an updated roster about a half an hour before we went on the air today. Some players had to pull out, were unable to make the trip to Myrtle Beach, and some others were added to the roster at the last moment. One of those was the defensive back that you just talked about from Newberry, James Bostic. Also, we had a couple of Division II and Division III players added to this game because of the roster changes. We've got a trick play right out of the gate for the South squad, kind of a reverse pass.
Yes. Cody Halfley, the quarterback from Wingate, right south of Charlotte, actually lined up and went over to his offensive line, and they snapped it to the up back, who pitched it over to Khalil Payton from Northern Arizona, who looked downfield for number 81, Corey Theodore. So we got those names right. Yep. But South doing a little razzle-dazzle here. David Bennett's going to open up the playbook today, I'm sure.
Why not? And, of course, the quarterback for the South is Cody Halfley out of Wingate. College in North Carolina. And he takes the direct snap and hands off to his fullback. That's Teso Uha. Uha out of Furman, and he is a speedster. And, of course, that is Tom Masella you see on the screen from Fordham, formerly of Fordham. And the two head coaches recently released of their coaching duties, but they decided to go ahead and come and coach this game. I said to both this morning, Lane, that, they could have taken some time off. Mm-hmm. They could have, nursed some wounds, nursed their hurt egos and the like, but they decided to go ahead and come here to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and coach these young men. And both said that it was not only therapeutic for them, but it is re-taught them, or I guess reminded them of why they got into the game that they're in. And
and Dave Bennett said that last night at the banquet, to be around young men, because these are the things that kind of invigorate you as a coach, and you get around, and now you've got a whole new batch of young men to get around, and you see these young men who finished up their college career, who've played for coaches that both Dave Bennett and
Tom
Masella knows. So it's a great experience, kind of a cathartic.
A third down scramble by Cody Hafley gets them about a yard short of the first down, and the fourth down rush is enough by Uha to pick up the first down, moves the chains at the 39-yard line, so the South goes for it on fourth down in their own territory on the first possession of the ball game and picks up the first.
Uha's kind of like a Maurice Jones-Drew, 5'8", 205 pounds, really compact and really speedy.
David Bennett on the sidelines, the near sideline, of course, Tom Masella and the North squad on the far sideline. And out of the shotgun, here's Hafley looking downfield, fires to his tight end, Jamie Childers from Coastal Carolina, right at the midfield stripe, falls into the North territory at the 49 and moves the chains again.
Really impressed with Cody Hafley this week in practice. He's 6 foot 215. He's a two-time all-conference performer for Coach Joe Reich up at Wingate College, and he really throws a good deep ball, and he throws doesn't put a whole lot of air under the ball. He really throws a nice line drive, kind of a fastball throw like a Brett Favre.
Got a tight end to the near side. You've got twins to the right and one to the near. They hand off to the fullback again, Teso Uha, and Uha is hit right at the line of scrimmage. That defensive front for the North, Mike Anternashe. Is that right? Am I saying that right? That's
Anternashe.
Anternashe. I knew I was going to mess that up, from Delaware. It's Mike Anternashe. Also, Eddie Delaney from Albany is your left tackle. Your right tackle is Ian Simon from Monmouth. And the right side defensive end is Andy Okonkwo from Fordham University. And all these guys are either recent graduates or a year out of college and have signed waiver forms to be able to play, like Markel Willis from Coastal Carolina. And another scramble by the quarterback Hafley, and this time only picks up about a yard to the 47. So it'll be third down and a long 8. Another one of the year ago graduates from from Western Carolina, Torres Jones and Khalil Payton from Northern Arizona are both 2010 graduates that are playing here in the 2011 FCS Senior Scout Bowl to get one more opportunity to show out in front of the Scouts.
I was wondering why I hadn't seen Torres Jones 3 weeks ago in Color Week, because we were up there.
And here's a drop back pass looking across the middle. He's got his tight end was open for a moment. That was Tommy Shaver out of Liberty, but instead he overthrows him out of bounds, and that's going to bring up fourth down and 8. So the South team is going to punt. They'll bring on Ted Moore, and Moore from Campbell will kick it away. Also the linebackers for the North team, Andrew Harrison from Delaware, C.J. Martin from Holy Cross, and Braden Lanehart from Cornell. We'll give you the defensive backfield next time around, and we'll take a look at the offense after this kick. High, nice spiral. That's going to turn over, and unfortunately it's such a good kick, it rolls into the end zone. That one was a bullet.
Yeah. You talked about C.J. Martin from Holy Cross. He was a guy that stepped up in the hole in that second down play and made a nice hit on Uha from Furman. So you're going to see some of these linebackers, some of these running backs getting to be real good friends today out there on the football field.
Defense for the South team for the second time, Eddie McClam from Old Dominion out of Lake City, South Carolina. Ronell Ferguson from South Carolina State at the left tackle. The right tackle is Hayward Howard from Arkansas Tech. And the right side defensive end is Jerome Raymond from Morehead State. At quarterback now is Kevin Lynch for the North squad. They will trade off quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. They will rotate in with every possession. So we'll see a lot of Rashad Slowery this time as well.
Also, both these coaches, you know, part of the thing with all-star games, obviously, is you want everybody to get a chance to play. So
Absolutely.
He's going to try to rotate as many people in as possible. There's no conference championship to play for. We're not trying to keep our best 11 on the field. You're just trying to be competitive and allow everybody to have some fun, because that's what the whole thing about today is having some fun.
Kevin Fitzpatrick splits wide to the near side. Zachary Watkins wide to the far. And again,
nice
it's right up the middle. Nice job by Slowery.
Slowery's a teammate of the quarterback on the last series. Actually, you know, Kevin Lynch, he and Kevin Lynch went to the same school. Both went to Southern Connecticut.
Dante Warren's father, I spoke with he and his father and mother this afternoon, and he ran into a classmate of his from high school that he had not seen in nearly 30 years, who is the mother of one of the wide receivers on the North team in this game. And they knew one another when they saw each other at the banquet the other night, but finally found out, I believe it's Ryan Zarnich's mother that was friends or went to school with Warren's father, but they reconnected here at the FCS Senior Scout Bowl.
Luke Black from Fairmont State on the tackle that time. Nice job there. The two Southern Connecticut quarterback and running back. Just a little dive play off tackle, but 11. Luke Black, 6'6", 275. Played for Mike Lopez at Fairmont State. Did a good job on the tackle there.
Midway through the first quarter, 7-0 the score. The North team scored on their first possession, marched it right down the field, and a 31-yard touchdown pass from Dante Warren to the Stony Brook. Yeah, Matt Brevy, Stony Brook tight end. And pass was intended for Ryan Zarnich this time, and Zarnich has it dribble through his fingers. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
C.J. Harris from Pre-C, right up in Clinton, South Carolina, on the defensive play, standing right in his back pocket. The receiver actually did a little button hook, as we call it, turned right around to the quarterback and lost his footing and was down on his knees, and C.J. almost reached over top of him for the INT.
Raynell Hall is in there for the South defense now. He is another one of the D2 players that are playing in this game. 3 players from Fairmont State, and a nice catch. Good throw across the middle. An even better catch by Zachary Watkins out of Butler. And Watkins gets it into the South Territory. Fairmont State plays in the West Virginia Conference, where I coached in basketball many years ago. And Fairmont has an outstanding football and basketball program, and they've sent 3 of their players south to participate in this all-star event.
Myron Johnson, Arkansas Tech, the defensive back, come up with a nice physical hit, but not before he got the first down.
Ryan Denabell is your wing back to the right. Tailback is Rashad Slowery. They fake to him and then throw out to the wing back, Denabell. Denabell makes the catch and picks up about 4, close to the 45-yard line. So we'll call it 2nd down and a long 6.
Number 43, Marty Patterson from Gardner-Webb University. A lot of Coastal Carolina fans will recognize this young man. He played for Steve Patton for 3 years and Ron Dickerson Jr. for his last year. All conference, led this conference in tackles in 2009 and 2011. Had a horrific injury last year that kept him out of most of the season. But this is the kind of kid, he came on the scene as a freshman back in 2008 and just lit the conference up. Guy that can play from sideline to sideline all over the field. Marty Patterson will be on a lot of tackles tonight.
Mike Parker out of Charleston Southern and Myron Johnson from Arkansas Tech are your safeties, and they're exchanging footballs on the field for the first time. Nice job by Lynch to cover it up for the North. Keeps possession. He loses a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. But the South squad defense doing a nice job here this time with Ronell Ferguson from South Carolina State causing that fumble, driving the offensive guard back into the quarterback to make him drop the football. So the South team stiffening up a bit this time around.
Yeah, Lynch and Slowery both played for Rich Kavanaugh up at Southern Connecticut, and Lynch threw for over 5,000 yards and 42 touchdowns in his career, so 3rd and 9 is not too big of a distance for him.
Quite a few fans here this afternoon wearing Southern Connecticut sweatshirts.
Chikolsky there.
So Brock Chikolsky, who was a Big South Conference Player of the Year candidate. He and his running mate there at Stony Brook were a 1-2 punch like the Big South Conference hasn't seen in a long time.
Miguel Masonet. Both those guys rushed for over 1,000 yards for Coach Chuck Priori up there on Long Island. Formidable offensive line, and just a smash-mouth football team.
Speaking in offensive line here, the North squad from left to right, Brad Rogers, Logan Miles, John Sheridan at center, Kyle O'Keefe and Billy Castro on the right-hand side, and Jakalski picks up major yards, a first down on 4th down, and lots more down to the 26-yard line.
Another thing about Jakalski, and you'll probably notice it in this game, I've never seen him fumble in 3 years of calling his games.
Wow.
Never seen him fumble.
And he is a bowling ball.
He's down on the field right now, favoring his left ankle, looks like.
Lots of help. And here's Jakalski taking a hit, staying on his feet, and then paying for those extra yards. Looking at the defense again, the cornerbacks for the South squad, James Bostic from Newberry and Torres Jones from Western Carolina started the ball game, and we'll try to mention as many of the young men as we possibly can here this afternoon, playing for each of these squads. And throughout the week, Lane, we had 9 NFL teams here watching workouts of the North and South squads, which only started practicing on Thursday. So throughout the day Thursday, they practiced twice. They practiced twice on Friday, had a Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet on Thursday night. But several Canadian Football League teams were here, and I know 9 NFL teams were here to watch these young men.
Well, this is the kind of atmosphere where they can come and they can see a lot of players at one time rather than traveling across the country and trying to see basically 2 teams at a time. You can come and you can see the best players, all seniors, all available for the draft under one roof. And you can probably come to Myrtle Beach and play a little golf, too.
Yeah, I think that there's been some tee times set up for a lot of these fans and coaches.
Yeah, the coaches are squeezing them in between the morning and the afternoon practice.
From the teams that are coming in from the north. I don't think they experience being able to play golf right before Christmas.
That's foreign to them. It's very foreign to them.
Up north. And that here on the golf capital of the world, the coaches getting their time in, and Brock Jakalski's family has been here with him all week long. They have attended every practice and every event for the FCS Senior Scout Bowl.
They carried Jakalski off the field.
I think we'll see him back, though. He's a tough young man. Good defensive stand up front by Jerome Raymond from Morehead State. He stood him up, and Hayward Howard was able to finish him off.
Yeah, Raymond's 6'4", 245. Finished this season with 69 tackles and 12 sacks for head coach Matt Ballard up at Morehead State, up in Kentucky.
Eddie McLam is checked out of the ball game, but as we see the nice job by both Raymond and Howard coming in the backfield to drop the ball carrier for a 1-yard loss. Dropping back to pass across the middle, wide open, a little bit behind the intended receiver, Kevin Lynch. Tried to hit Patrick Walker, but turned him around, and Walker was unable to hold on, so it brings up 3rd down and long.
That's the second time in a row they found a nice little soft spot in the middle of that south defensive zone, and you have to look for that free safety. He's going to have to start stepping up in there and trying to put some pressure on that. Lynch had him wide open, threw it behind him.
So we'll see if the kickers have the leg to get it from here. If that's what I'm saying. Okay. If they don't pick up the first down on this play, because this will be about a 48-yard field goal if they don't pick up the first down. Here comes the heavy rush, stepping up into the pocket. Nice job by the quarterback, and he slides forward for enough for a first down, I believe. Great job by Kevin Lynch.
Yeah, it's the second time in a row we've had them. The South has had them in 3rd and long situations. The quarterbacks, the defensive linemen are really getting amped up on those 3rd and longs, and they're really starting to arc their rushes to the outside, and all the quarterback has to do is just pick a spot up the middle, and they've hurt the South twice on that play.
Lynch did a great job feeling the pressure, stepping up into the pocket, and he found a lane in the middle of the field and was able to get to the sticks, picks up the first down. It's 1st and 10 from the 15 of the South. North already leads it 7-0 on their first possession. Single receivers wide to either side, wing back to the left. Tailback is Rashad Slowery. And before the play is snapped off, whistles fly, and we've got a false start.
Our first penalty of the day.
Yeah, good job. The referee's doing a outstanding job as well, keeping the flags in their pocket. That is a great job. But Dwayne Height says it was a false start by the North, so backs them up 5 yards, brings up 1st and 15.
Got a little bit of leeway when it comes to penalties today, but you're not going to let them get anything that's going to allow them to gain a competitive advantage. I think I was looking at an earlier series with the South, and one of their wide receivers literally just flinched in his position. Normally would have been called a procedure penalty, and the officials just looked over it.
I formation now. Denabell and Slowery behind Lynch. They hand it off to Slowery. Slowery turns the corner left and gets hooked right there. Bear hugged by Mike Parker out of Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern this year, Lane, went 0-11, but they still had some outstanding players. They had some all-stars from the Big South Conference, and you see right here that that young man is doing a great job, Mike Parker.
Parker's one of them, and now that David Bennett has been relieved at Coastal Carolina, Jay Mills is now the dean of Big South coaches, and he loves this kid, Parker, who steps up in the hole. He's 6'1", 215, can play linebacker or DB.
And again, rolling left out of the pocket, terrific defensive play by Damon Lawrence from Presbyterian, another Big South Conference player standing out here at the FCS Senior Scout Bowl.
This textbook cornerback play, the wide receiver drives him down and makes the out call. As soon as he reads the out, he gets that left hand out in front of the receiver and bats the ball away.
3rd down and 11. This will be the 3rd time that they've had 3rd and long. Let's see if the South defense can close up the lanes and keep Lynch in the pocket, make him earn it by throwing the pass. Wide out to the left is Matt Brevy from Stony Brook.
I'd be keeping an eye on him. He's matched up over there with Lawrence from Presbyterian.
Twin receivers to the right, rolling that way. Quarterback throws back to the left, and he had Brevy, but Brevy couldn't come back to get it.
That was actually 82.
Was that?
Doty.
I'm sorry, Kevin Doty. Kevin Doty was coming back for the pass, but Lynch was off balance, rolling to his right and throwing back to his left. And now we'll see a 35-yard field goal attempt upcoming for the North.
It's a good play by the North. They drug all the receivers over to the right side and then snuck their tight end back over to the left, and he was wide open, just underthrown by the quarterback.
Albany's Herb Glass. Actually a 34-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up. It's got the distance, but I believe it's wide left. It is.
Might have been deflected as well, Al.
It did have a little knuckle on it, didn't it? So the South team avoids giving up points on this possession, the 2nd attempt by the North. They still lead it 7-0, and we've got 1:51 to play in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, I'm looking down on the field, and Dave Bennett, one of the first guys he came out and slapped hands with was Damon Lawrence, the defensive back from Presbyterian. He's 5'10", 193 pounds, and had 13 pass breakups in his career for Harold Nichols. And he's also got a Coastal Carolina Chanticleer helmet on. He didn't bring his PC hat with him.
These wide out for the South, actually twins to the right, and rolling that way. Good job to Tommy Shaver. And Shaver makes a tough catch with a defender draped all over him.
Yeah, you got Shaver at 6'6", 280, and Jamie Childers at 6'5", 240. Both these guys can play tight end, and they're going to be tough to guard.
And on his back was Andrew Harrison. That was great coverage by the Delaware Blue Hen, but the Liberty Flame pulls it down, picks up the 1st down for the South.
Harrison's the guy that at the banquet last night I was telling you about. Harrison gets up on the stage, and all the kids come up, and they introduce who they are, where they're playing, where they're from, and everything. And he says, "Coach Bennett, I'm a dog, woof, woof." And we look for a big game out of him today from the linebacker position.
Absolutely, of course. Everybody knows about David Bennett's virtual rant online. It went viral. And the Cats and Dogs rant that was picked up by Tosh.0, and
Everybody.
I hear it on ESPN radio all the time.
My kids even know about it.
It's and to be honest with you, people think that is, kind of an unusual occurrence for David Bennett. If you go to the regular press conferences, as you and I do, that's an every week occurrence.
That's right.
It just got a little bit out of hand that day. Not much. Twin receivers to the right. Wing back that way. And that's Jamie Childers lined up at the wing back. They're going to hand off up the middle.
Wow.
Big hole. Nice run by Stephen Rockwell out of Hardin-Simmons College.
He calls himself the Rock, and I talked to Coach Bennett. I said, "Coach Bennett, give the rock to the Rock." and let him run. And the last 2 running plays have been very strong efforts by number 5, right up the middle of that North defense.
We saw Tesso Uha on the first possession. Stephen Rockwell, the Rock this time, finds a hole and then runs over a defender.
Got 2 arms on that ball, too. He's not giving it up.
We'll also see Frank Wolf out of St. Francis College at tailback before the day is through. They hand off again to the Rock, and Stephen Rockwell spins away from 2 defenders this time and is finally pulled down after a 13-yard pickup.
And all the scouts are dropping their head and making little notes on their pad on Mr. Rockwell. Nice run, son. Nice run.
And that's what it's all about here today. It's one more time for the players, and we've got the end of the first quarter as we see the Rock picking up the first down. And when we return, it'll be a 7-point lead for the North, but the South is driving on the FCS Senior Scout Bowl.
The Retreat at Garden City is a seaside community located between Surfside Beach and Murrells Inlet in South Carolina, just steps from the Atlantic Ocean. This 16 custom home development featuring a tropical landscape community pool is situated just 1 row back from the beach, right across the street from the famous Garden City Pier. The Retreat at Garden City is convenient to everything: the beach, fishing, plenty of water sports, golf, shopping, and so much more. All the fun and excitement of South Carolina's Grand Strand is right here at your fingertips. Yet you're still able to enjoy privacy and peace and quiet. Residents of Garden City enjoy views of the oceanfront and low-country wildlife habitations. Can you imagine laid-back island living and classic coastal architecture for an unbelievable affordable price, starting at just $299,000? It's the chance of a lifetime. The Retreat at Garden City offers 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath and 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath floor plans. Both include a 4-car parking bay. Standard features include kitchen appliances, carpet, 9-foot smooth finish ceilings, and more. Laminate hardwood, granite countertops, and stainless steel appliances are just a few of the additional options. The Retreat at Garden City, your home on the coast. Visit theretreatatgardencity.com for more information. That's theretreatatgardencity.com.
The holidays are a magical time of year when our days become even busier with holiday parties, get-togethers, and of course, shopping. HTC is happy to help you through the hectic holiday season by connecting you with family and friends, helping with online shopping and reviews, and settling in with you for a good movie during the most wonderful time of the year. HTC will connect you to everything on your wish list.
Smartphone data and home high-speed internet as low as $28.95 a month.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
First play of the second quarter is Cody Halfley on the out pattern. Hits hits Stephen Rockwell coming out of the backfield, and Rockwell picks up about 2 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 8, and the officials doing a nice job holding the play for us until we were able to come back this afternoon. That's not being sarcastic. They know they're holding it for us. They would have been playing a lot earlier otherwise. 2nd down and 8. Still have the Rock in the backfield with Halfley, and they're going to hand off to Rockwell, and Rockwell breaks 1 tackle, picks up 2-3 more yards across the 35 to the 34.
Yeah, Rockwell is a load, too. He looks, about 5'10", about 215 pounds, and really built well, and you can tell he really runs behind his pads, gets down low, and on that time he actually got hit at the line of scrimmage and still managed to use his forward momentum to pick up the 3 yards he did.
See big Jeremy Hill on the right-hand side of that offensive line. You've got Tommy Shaver at tight end to the near side, but right beside him.
Got a basketball team on the right side.
6'9", and Shaver took off a little bit early. That's one of the things that you have to work on during the week is the timing and the cadence, knowing that quarterback's inflection when he's calling out the play.
One of the neat things about coming to practice, and Cody Halfley sitting back in there as a senior quarterback, and Kevin Brown, the offensive coordinator for David Bennett and the South team, is basically showing him, just basic calls, a 40 series, a 60 series, a 70 series. And you could tell after about 5 minutes of coaching him, he didn't run a whole lot of option.
Really?
He was mainly a passing offense in high school because, Halfley get that one off just in time.
And he got it to his tight end, Tommy Shaver, and a heavy rush by Jamie Jenkins out of New Hampshire. Got there just as Hafley let go of the football.
Yeah, we don't want to get any of these South quarterbacks hurt. Hey, we got Hafley, and if we don't have Hafley, then we go to Jamie Childers, the backup the starting tight end and the backup quarterback for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, and
who is pulling triple duty this afternoon.
I know, and Jamie said, I got enough positions to play. I'd rather Cody go all the way at quarterback.
And he stays there with Rockwell. Rockwell's going to try to pick up the first down on 4th, and I believe he has. He needed to get to the 29, and they're marking him down at the 28.5, so a first down for the South, and that's twice that the South team has converted on 4th down here in the first half.
Yeah, they did a good job on that first opening drive, but didn't get any points out of it. But I tell you what, when you got a back like Rockwell in the backfield, you got to feel pretty confident you can pick up 2-3 yards at a shot. Go ahead.
Was that yours?
Yeah, I got
one. Oh, you filled them both up?
I bought 2, baby.
Oh, you the man. Well, it's got the water for us.
Stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Thank you. And out of the shotgun yet again, and in for the first time is Frank Wolf. They faked a Wolf, roll out play action, and the intended receiver for the South squad was Corey Theodore from Southeast Louisiana, but it was short of him, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Wolf had nowhere to run on that play. The defensive end on the outside, Jenkins, had him bottled up, and Hafley did a good job of pulling it out of his stomach and rolling out, just overthrew his receiver just slightly.
Offensive line for the South again. Jeremy Hill on the right side at tackle. The right guard is Tim Franklin from Coastal Carolina. Texas State's DJ Hall is your center. James Barker from Austin P, the left guard, and the right tackle is Brian Brooks. But they'll rotate in throughout, and we'll see more of Frank Wolf. Wolf across the 25 to the 24, so that's a 4-yard pickup. Be 3rd down and 6.
Wolf played for Kevin Donnelly at St. Francis up in Indiana. He's 5'8", 183 pounds, 4.22 speed.
Wow.
I'd like to see him get in the open field and see if we can test that theory out right here.
And on this field turf, it's a fast track.
Yes, it is.
Of course, it's one of the few field turf surfaces here in South Carolina because the grass grows so well, but this surface is used quite often. You see the track, which is one of the state-of-the-art tracks in America here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium. Nice out pattern. Swing pass to Mike Rodriguez from Tusculum College over in Tennessee. Great catch and an even better throw, I think, on the play because he had good coverage by the North team, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 2, and it looks like the South is going to kick it. Ryan Estep from Norfolk State is going to get a chance to tack on 3 for the South.
Yeah, on that play, James Pitts, the cornerback from Villanova, with a nice play. He was all conference, and it was 2-time preseason All-American for Coach Andy Talley up at Villanova.
Estep, obviously a southpaw, kicking left-footed, and Cody Hafley will hold on the kick. Here's the snap, the place, and this one is perfect, it looks like, right down the middle. And it's 7-3 as the South gets on the board for the first time here in the second quarter. 10:53 to play in the first half, and I think we thought we'd see a offensive fireworks the way the South moved the ball or make that the North on the first possession of the ball game, but the defenses have taken control now.
And that's something that's going to take place because, you know, these squads during the course of the week, they really don't go full contact against each other. They may do what they call some skeleton drills, where they go 7-on-7 against each other. So for the offensive and defensive linemen right now, it's their first contact in some cases in as much as 2 to 3 weeks. So they're kind of getting their game feet back underneath them and getting that contact, getting everything loosened up in there. But I got a question for you, bad boy. If you throw the ball, you're left-handed, you're southpaw. If you kick the ball, you're a what do you call it? South pod? A south foot? What do you call that?
Wow. Yeah, that's a philosophical question. I think that I'll have to ponder.
We'll say that for the second half.
A little while. Well, when they come off limping, I say dragging a paw.
Dragging a paw. Okay.
So, I mean, if you got 4 of them.
That's true. Okay. All right.
So
now we're going dogs and cats.
There you go. I like that. I like to stay on that theme, dogs and cats, as the South will kick it from left to right.
It's about having fun, big boy.
That's exactly right.
It's about having fun.
And Lane says, bad boy. Most people know me on the radio as the bad boy of sports radio, doing a daily sports talk show here in the Carolinas. But I try to keep the badness to a minimum.
Okay, we'll do
on the television, Lane.
I have you, Alan.
I try to do that.
Gotcha.
That's all right. You can call me bad boy if you want. Most people do. But I just try to keep the badness myself down a bit. Received at the 17. Brought out across the 30. Turning the corner. It's Anthony Coleman from Robert Morris. And Coleman across the 35 and sets up the North in great field position. Actually, across the 30, got close to the 35.
Markel Willis on the tackle from Coastal Carolina.
So Markel trying to get some work either as a wide receiver or on special teams. And a lot of these guys know, Lane, especially at this level, if you make an NFL squad or a Canadian Football League squad, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on special teams to begin.
And you may be for 2 or 3 years on special teams before you get the opportunity to play at that highest level. So you better be sound, you better be fundamental, you better be able to tackle, you better be able to run.
And back in the ball game is Dante Warren, and Warren connects again.
No.
This time.
INT.
INT.
24.
Nice job defensively by Mike Parker, making another play out of Charleston Southern. Parker rips it out of the air. I thought that ball was received, but instead it was Parker making another great play.
Yeah, he was lined up and one-on-one with the outside defensive back. I think that was number 22, David Ingram from North Carolina Central. But all Parker was doing was playing center field, went right up, made a nice jump up high, went up and out-jumped the receiver for the ball. INT for Charleston Southern's Mike Parker.
Yeah, Kevin Fitzpatrick was the intended receiver, and he was right there. It was a good throw, but Parker out-fought Fitzpatrick for the interception and the first turnover of the game as the South takes possession on their own 21-yard line and sends twin receivers to the near side left, make that the near side right. One to the far side left and brings a man in motion.
That's Willis.
And they're going to give it off to Markel Willis on the end around. Willis picks up 7 big yards across the 30 to the 31. And they're moving the chains, but I don't.
Yeah, he got.
Was that enough?
He got 10.
Okay, picked up 10. So I thought he got just across the 30, but they give him credit to the 32-yard line. So that was 10 yards on the gain. And Markel Willis, former Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. He graduated in 2010 and was a grad assistant on the team this year.
And knows the offensive terminology. So he's in the huddle probably answering a lot of questions. They just brought him in motion, handed off to him on a nice little speed sweep. And once he turned that corner, you could see him kind of get excited and cut that ball up for a 10-yard gain.
Tommy Shaver is the tight end to the right. Trip receivers to the left as they hand off to fullback Tesso Uha. And Uha picks up another first down, I believe.
No.
Comes close. Nope. They knock him out of bounds right at the 40. So it'll be third down, make it second down, and about 3.
David Bennett, being a disciple of Danny Ford out of Clemson University, he's always of that, let's control the line of scrimmage, let's run the ball. And right now they're having success running the ball with Rockwell, Markel Willis, and Uha. So I look for them to kind of stay with that mode until they have to force to be passing the ball.
Pair of receivers left, one right, a little middle screen. Out of the backfield, it's Uha, first down and more across the midfield stripe to the 47 of the North.
And although that ball was passed, Allen, that's just the same as a running play right there. Is you set it up to make it look like a pass. The defensive lineman release, trying to get that quarterback sack to get in the eyes of the scouts that are here. And nice setup there by Halfley. Dumps it off to Uha. He gets in behind his big offensive lineman. Actually gets out ahead of him. Had he waited behind of him, he could have even picked up more yardage.
That was a perfectly executed middle screen to Uha. Back in the ball game is Stephen Rockwell, and Rockwell's going to get the call and carries across the 46, close to the 45, about a 1 yard, maybe 2 yard gain at most. We'll call it second down and 9.
Yeah, Rockwell's one of those backs, Alan. If you get to him early, you got a chance to get him down and get some help. But if you let him get into the open field and get that body moving, he's tough to bring down.
Corey Theodore split wide, as is Khalil Payton. He's another one of those 2010 graduates. Payton is out of northern Arizona. They signed a waiver, and they were able to play in this game because all are recent graduates.
Halfley picks up a nice pass there to Mike Rodriguez from Tusculum University.
Yeah, Rodriguez has played well this afternoon already as well.
Halfley that time, Alan, did a great job of stepping up because, again, these defensive ends for the North are really starting to come hard on the outside. That's James Jenkins and Ian